Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Steve here, V-Twin Racing Channel. We're going to go ahead and kick off part 3 of the EFI Sportster to carburetor conversion. Basically, I'm just going over what exactly it is I'm doing on my particular bike. Some of the information that you guys may be seeking may not apply to this situation I'm doing here. So, first off, I want to talk about camshafts. So, the number 2 camshaft, let me get something to point with here. All right, we'll try. Well, drill bit it is. Okay, so this is a fuel injected camshaft. Okay, there's no hole drilled in it. This is the number 2 cam, by the way. There's no notch on this for timing. This came out of my 07 fuel injected bike. Now, also, I don't have that cover, but you guys can pretty much guess. That cover's gone with the turbo kit, so it's already packed away for the race this weekend. So, this hole and this seal and stuff is non-existent on the newer fuel injected cover. This point cover here is just for decoration. You take it off, there's nothing there. Again, I explained earlier, this is a 91 to 99 cover. You can notice that it does not have the extra oiling circuits, and I'm going to show you I do have my cover. Anyway, earlier, let's say 91 to 2003, we have this right here. Okay, you guys can notice it has the notch to locate this guy right here. You can call it a cup, drum, I don't know what you want to call it, but this is your timing. It's not the pickup, it's the whatever the hell it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This one is threaded, okay, for a bolt, and it has that notch to locate that timing hub. So this is a mystery to everybody on the planet. Nobody seems to know what a set of 3A cams are. Who made them, what size they are, nobody can figure it out. I have a set of them. My buddy Patrick over at Blue Eyed Demon has them. Has a set of them. Matter of fact, I got these from him. I'm not running these. I don't know what they are. So I'm just using this for reference. Okay. So the new cover. This is casting number, and this is important if you guys want to convert a fuel injected Harley over to a standalone Dyna 2000i or an Ultima or a Daytona Twin Tech, all standalone. I think there's a couple other brands of them, but you have to have this cover, okay? Because the timing is driven off, it's what they call nose cone ignition. It's driven off number 2 camshaft. But here's the details that I was speaking about. This extra oil circuit here and this extra oil circuit here, which they started this in 2000 and continued on up to, I'm not sure what year they quit it or changed or revised it again. But the casting number is 25230-98A. Hopefully you guys can see that there. 25230-98A. This is the cover you need if you want to put an older style standalone ignition on your fuel injected Sportster. Okay, now I am going to, just like I do all my covers, I'm going to cut this down, okay, to get rid of this, all this down here, so I can have better access to the oil pump. And I'm going to cut this up around over here for any other reason than to just make it look better. So this is one that I already cut. I know you guys have probably seen the video on this one I done, but right here, all this is gone. So you can have easy access to the oil pump, and this right here, it's all gone. It just, I don't know, cleans it up, looks better. So What else? We talked about the intake. We talked about carburetor. So for my particular application, it is a 48 HSR 48 Mikuni. Okay, that's what my hammer intake manifold that is specific for the fuel injected heads, because it's a wider spacing in between them. But this is for the 48 HSR. Okay, so I'm going to drill and tap this to put my nitrous fogger in there. Okay, like so. Let me pull, show you around this, the grind lock tool that locks the pinion gear so you can loosen the bolt on it, so I can put the bronze pump gear on. That's going to be in there while I'm in there. The camshafts are they're Hammer Performance 600 lift cams. I can't remember the nickname of them right off the top of my head. Let's see, where was I going with that? The camshafts, the cylinder heads are getting a BFH cylinder head service, fully ported, different valve ankles, 5/16 valve stems, different porting, combustion chamber reconfiguration, higher compression. They're going to gap the rings for the nitrous. So one of the other things I've been working on, let's see. Okay, let's bring you down here where we can show you some of this stuff a little bit better. And apologize for this, as always, for this. All right, so right here, what I'm doing is I've got, and if you guys look, you can see the oil circuits here and here. The gasket's actually still on the engine. There you go. So, but that's why I needed that newer cover, so it'll actually lubricate the lifters, the push rods, the rockers, and all that other stuff. This is an 883 top end that I just have gently bolted on here for mock-up purposes, because while I'm waiting on the top end to come in and the cams and everything else, they're actually shipping me the pinion locking tool and the camshafts, so I can go in here and verify my clearances to make sure that I'm not hitting any of the lifter bores and I'm not hitting the bearing race on the number 2 and the number 3 cams. And it said, Dan told me that there was only a small chance of me running into any clearance issues on the 2000 and newer, or the newer fuel injected motors. Apparently they've got better clearance, but I still have to verify. Also, I'm working on trying to mock up this stuff here. So these are my solenoids, my nitrous solenoids. I don't know if I want to make a plate to span the heads, and I don't know if where these bolt holes are, you know, for the older style top motor mount. They actually don't do anything on the fuel injected bike with the rubber mount deal. And by the way, this does have solid mounts in it in place of the rubber ones. But anyway, I put this top end on so I can start mocking and fabricating some of this stuff. I have the bottle pressure gauge and all this stuff. I got to mount. I got to mount up on the dash. I got to buy a purge kit solenoid. Back here somewhere, I'm going to have to make a pan or something to mount fuse box. I gotta mount the fuse box. Lots of stuff I need to mount. Purge kit, the fuse box, the fuel pump, the pump relay. There's also yeah, here's the fuel pump for the nitrous kit. This right here is a progressive nitrous controller by Leash Electronics. It is a progressive nitrous controller. One thing that I had to kind of figure out, this thing provides a ignition retard function, so I can pull timing out of it when I'm spraying it. The only problem is this thing actually produces a 12-volt positive signal. Now, one of the things I had to do to work around that was buy this relay, because the Dyna 2000i requires a ground to actually retard the timing. So I'm like, how do I take a positive and turn it into a negative? Well, so this relay right here, when you give it 12 volts DC to this, it pulls down this contactor, which would in turn complete a ground circuit on the other side. So actually, I work in the plastics industry. I'm a plastic process engineer, plastic injection molding. And I had to have one of the automation engineers sort this out for me so I could understand how it works and what it's doing. So, but it's a real simple deal. Picked it up on Amazon. I think I got 5 of these and 5 of these, and I think I got $30 in all of it. But, so I've got plenty of spares, but I've got to mount this on the bike. This fuse box, the same thing that I put on the OG Sportster, same thing we put on Walter's bike. I like the simplicity of it. You can run your main power here, your main ground here, and you've got 6 ground lugs. So you're not putting grounds all over the place. You run one good ground to the chassis, and then you've got 6 good positions, and then of course you've got your fuse positions here on power. And there's 6 of them, so that's more than enough. This bike is going to be no charging system, just like the other one. I'm taking off a lot of the stuff that the previous owner had. He had a onboard air compressor pump, which I'm not going to use. I'm not going to lie, I like the convenience of it for the air shifter. However, my past experiences, they're unreliable and they'll fail on you, and it's added weight. So I'm trying to go as fast as I possibly can with this bike. So, and in addition to myself losing weight, which I have lost over, say since Christmas, I've lost like 30 pounds. So I'm doing pretty good. But the bike, I just don't need any extra weight on it. So I'm actually considering, you might think I'm crazy, but I'm actually considering taking the rear shocks off and putting a set of struts on it. Because the bike is 70-inch wheelbase, you know, it might be all right. Might be all right. But anyway, this is part 3. I don't know what else I could possibly tell you guys about converting one of these. I did install the new fuel pump block-off plate on the tank handle. I'll grab it, I'll show you. Oh, goodness. So there that is. It's installed. It's got your 22mm standard Harley. So I'm going to put a Pingle 2-port, what they call a guzzler. It's their high flow race petcock. I'm going to put that on here, and I got to figure out if I want the ports to come out the bottom or out the side yet. I still haven't figured that out. I got to mock all this stuff up, see where lines are going to go and everything. But listen, guys, this stuff is real easy. Again, even if you wanted to, I don't know what extent you guys would want to go, but if you were using, you know, if you were riding your bike on the street, which 99% of you are definitely riding your bikes on the street. I'm not real sure, because I generally don't fool with the charging systems. I usually take them off because I race these bikes. As far as the stock original fuel injection wiring harness goes, I'm sure most of them bikes have that anti-theft system and all that other stuff on them. That really scares me, messing with that stuff. I guess to make it, you know, earlier style. I mean, you know, you got 04, 05, 06, which are also rubber mounted. 04 was really a bastard year. It was a transformation from the 03 to the bike we have now. And they did a lot of 1 year only stuff on the 04s. But they're still good bikes. I mean, they're still good bikes. So, but hopefully these pieces of information to help you guys out. If there's anything else I can help with, please hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you're interested in the rest of this project, basically setting it up, I mean, it is a race bike, but it was a full, if it was, the only thing was missing was the lights and the tag, I could have rode it on the street. So it had all the full, everything still on it. So I'm stripping all that stuff down off of it, lightening it up, simplifying it, setting it up for strictly drag racing. If you guys are interested in nitro system on a Harley, follow the channel, follow this project. I'll continue to update as I get some of this stuff mounted, fabricated, wired. And again, I'm waiting on my top end, and I don't know when that'll be here, because I can't really wire the bike until I get the engine back together, because things are going to run, you know, certain places and whatnot. There is the problem of there's no timing marks on this engine, okay, to reference top dead center. So in my particular case with this one here, I'm going to go with something I saw on YouTube. I cannot remember the guy's name. Can't remember it. Anyway, I'm going to bring the front cylinder up on top dead center, and I'm going to use a dial indicator. They got the tool that screws into the spark plug hole and has the little rod that gently follows the piston up. You know, you get it really close on the compression stroke, but I don't know where I'll actually reference that at, but that I can static time my dyno that way. But as far as having a sight plug on the case where you can line up a mark on the flywheels, that is not going to happen on this engine, okay? As long as you get true compression stroke top dead center on the front cylinder and you static time it, and if you need to back it off a little bit, I believe 30 thousandths is 2 degrees backing it off, I think. So if you watch a Hammer performance video on how to static time your dyno ignition, he explains it pretty well there. But just keep in mind, if you guys are doing this, especially with a standalone ignition, there is no timing marks for you to set this up, okay? You're going to have to go old school, top dead center on the compression stroke on the front cylinder, and then you can static time it, and then you'll have to just back it off a little bit from there. I would say I would automatically just go ahead and back it off a couple degrees and get it over with, because too much timing on these engines is a bad thing. Okay, that's all I got for today, guys. I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thank you. Have a good one.